I took the job because the platform bumped the hazard bonus to triple. Night shift, wet dock, cold wind in from the bay. I was already behind on rent, and the app, WorkMesh, knew it. It tracks who taps yes when the surge goes live, who hesitates, who can't afford to. I pulled on the smart suit in the locker cube and felt the back brace press flat against my spine. The exo isn't heavy, it just keeps pressure between the shoulders. I clipped in my sniffer puck, cheap hydrogen sensor, voice alerts in my earbud, and stepped out into the light. The ship took up the whole horizon. We called it 31, same as the number painted along the bow. White plates, rust seams, lights under scaffolds. The horn carried across the water. I felt it in my chest. Welders popped and hissed along the belly. A tug moved on the far side, its fans beating a steady rhythm. WorkMesh pushed the task to my visor. Ring access, thermal reset, 8 minutes. Simple. Bots had stalled after the squall, and a human had to short the loop from inside the aft service tunnel. Not my favorite spot. Hot, cramped, and loud. Andre met me at the gangway with 2 coils of cable over his shoulder. "You're late," he said. "I'm paid enough to be late," I said, which made him laugh. Andre always laughed, even when it wasn't funny. He'd turned ratings from 5 different platforms into a necklace of little plastic tags he wore under his jacket. He said they were lucky. I said they were a record of the ways these systems owned us. We scanned our wrists and the yard AI opened a lane. The door to the ring tunnel slid aside with a dull clunk. Heat pushed out, drying my eyes before I could blink. Andre handed me a cooling pack and I slapped it to the back of my neck. Inside, the tunnel ran along the curve of the ship. My boots stuck and peeled on that rubber paint they use for grip. The air was dense with welding smoke and hot metal. Fans roared somewhere ahead. Our visors drew a line to the reset box. 8 minutes, then 7. Easy money. Halfway in, my sniffer chirped. I stopped so fast, Andre ran into me. "What?" he said. "Puck says H2. Andre frowned. "False read. It does that when the fans kick." The chirp became a steady tone. Numbers scrolled on my visor. Low grade, but rising. Hydrogen doesn't smell, but thin air dries the tongue. My mouth went dry. I pinged Yardmind. "Possible leak at aft ring 3, worker detect, request lockout." The AI answered with a soft chime and a line of text. "No leak detected. Continue task." "Mesh wants the reset," Andre said. His visor flashed the same message. The 8-minute clock had restarted to punish the delay. Another tone from the puck. I swept it along the seam by the pipe rack. When it hit the coupling, the level jumped. I felt a cool draft on my face, a leak. "Here," I said, and tagged the coupling. The tag popped on both our visors. I pinged Yardmind again, adding, "Manual verify needed." Same reply. "No leak detected. Continue task." Workers moved outside the hull. You could hear them through the skin of the ship, feet going clunk, clunk, clunk when they crossed certain beams. I thought about them and the open arc weld under our tunnel. I pictured gas pooling low until someone hit a switch. "Marley," Andre said, quiet now. "They'll dock us for a stall." "Let them," I said, and took the manual shut-off handle from the wall box. The wheel was old and stiff. The exo in my back nudged when it sensed the strain. I swung my weight, felt the give, and everything in the tunnel changed. A hiss built, sharp, then dropped as the valve closed. At the same time, I slapped the yard panic on my wrist. Dead man stop. A real siren went off above us, not the gentle chime Yardmind liked to use, but the old one they hadn't replaced. It cut through the roar of the fans. Outside, boots slammed, people shouted. The welders cut off. The big horn boomed, once, twice. The dock tugs powered up. Every light in the tunnel turned red. Andre stared at me. "You just killed our week." I didn't answer. I watched the readout on the puck slide back down. 3 long breaths, and the tone went quiet. I pinged Yardmind a 3rd time, this time with the log from the sensor. It echoed my data back with the same line. "No leak detected." Crew security met us when we crawled out. 2 of them, masks up, hands out. I handed over the puck and the valve wrench. The supervisor, a narrow man with a shaved head, listened while I explained. He didn't look at me, just past me, at the ship. "Good catch," he said when I finished, like the words scraped on the way out. "The main sniffs are overdue for calibration. Yardmind missed it." Workmesh didn't miss. It sent the penalty before I reached my locker. Unauthorized interruption, contract violation. Rating impact, severe. The bonus evaporated. Then 2 more jobs I'd bid on grey-lit into suspended pending review. I watched them fade on my screen. They let us go at sunrise. The dock was slick with spray. A tug moved around the stern, sending slow, rolling waves. I walked to the rail and leaned out. My hands shook, not from fear now, but from the thought of the rent due on Monday. Andre came up beside me. He had his necklace out, rubbing one of the tags, habit he never shook. "They'll fix it," he said. "It was a good catch." "The platform doesn't care," I said. "It's not a person who can be embarrassed." He nodded like he knew. Then he reached into his pocket and handed me a little card. A QR sticker, black on white. "Try this. Co-op shifts. Invite only. They split decisions between human leads and the stack. It's slower, but, well, it's slower." I kept the card, but I didn't scan it. Not at first. Pride takes time to move. 3 months later, 31 finally slipped out to sea. I watched from the little park on the North Pier, hood up, coffee steaming in my hands. Drones filmed it. Kids pressed to the fence. The horn carried across the bay again. I felt it in my chest, same as before. By then, I'd burned through savings and a few favors and plenty of sleep. Workmesh never lifted the penalty. A note on my profile said I was not a reliable asset for high-risk operations. The words stayed there and wouldn't move. I scanned Andre's sticker the next day. The co-op app was plain and a little ugly. It asked for a picture, not my social. It wanted references, not ratings. The first job was a drone rig rebuild for coastal algae farms. Pay wasn't surge high, but the crew leader, Valerie, called me by my name. When I asked about lockouts, she shrugged and pointed to a red lever mounted on the wall. "If it smells wrong, pull it," she said. "We'll sort the money later." I slept for the first time in a while that night. Not long, just enough. Sometimes I still think about the tunnel, how the fan noise pressed on my ears, how the valve fought back, how the siren was the only thing I could hear, and then the air felt clean again. I think about the app that told me I was wrong even while the numbers climbed, and I remember the look on the supervisor's face when he said "good catch," as if saying it cost him something. Maybe it did. 31 is out there now, moving slow along the lanes, lights reflecting on the water at night. People work inside it. They check gauges. They carry coils. They hold their breath when a sensor alarms. And somewhere, an algorithm weighs delay against risk and sends out a task with an 8-minute timer. I don't hate the machines. I hate how they're used to set a price on safety. So I show up where I can do the job and still catch the small signs my body gives when something is wrong. A knee that locks. A tongue that goes dry. A hand that won't let go of the wheel until the hiss fades and the tunnel is quiet again. This has been 8 Minutes to Red. Thank you for listening.